Every story you read, I mean, the Bible is full of stories.
Yeah.
That's the most interesting book you can read. Everywhere you hear about stories. You hear about some of the guys that 10, 12 wives,
Oh, bad story.
concubines,
That's a bad story.
in the Bible. But we need to understand everything was refined. Everything became refined as things went down. When we started understanding what our life was about, and when we knew what Christ was about, and when we knew what everything, when the way everything needed to be, all of us were refined. We got to be refined. And we'll continue to grow and become more refined as fathers of our houses, as heads of our houses. We will know what to do. Because the story is, the children will tell you, I will do as you do. There will come a point where they will not listen. Do as I say. There will come a point where they will stop that. And they will do as you do. So you need to show them the right way. That was just basically there. And we need to understand Joshua and how he was ordained by God. He's commissioning into the land of Canaan via Jordan River. How they conquered the land include 24 kings. Dividing of the land between the tribes who conquered it. Joshua's final sermon in death and burial. Even at the end, he spoke about people honoring God because God honored them. We need to understand where we are. Are we playing church? Because that's not going to work. Because if you're here for that reason, then you're wasting your time. Because the accountability upstairs is final. And the man above knows whether we play church, why we here. Are we here against our will? The church is a place for God. And you must just be excited when you are in. I see the children be excited when they rush in here. I see them running for their basement. That's the excitement they have. But we need to understand where we are. I'm going to be very specific. Unlike last time when I went through the whole of Joshua, I'm starting at chapter 9. And you'll see why I'm going there. Because you need to understand this. I'll give you this first. The Bible tells us of many who began well but ended badly. Lot, King Saul, Solomon, and Demas were some of those who ended shamefully. It is not so important how we begin a race. It is important how you end a race. My question to you today, how do you end a race? Because that's important. It's not how you begin, it's how you end. You need to analyze your life and you need to understand where you are, where you were, and where you aim to be. But in all that, understand God's plans for you. Because if you've got a plan and God's got a plan, remember God's plan will overturn your plan. So in everything that you decide that you need to do, you need to make sure it's in line with God's plan. I'm going to give you an example of what went wrong. Joshua chapter 9. The treaty with the Gibeonites. Who knows that one? How it came to be. And it came to pass when all the kings who were on this side of the Jordan in the hills and in the lowland and all in the coast of the great sea toward Lebanon, the Hittites, Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites heard about it, that they gathered together to fight with Joshua and Israel with one accord. when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and Ai, they worked craftily and went and pretended to be ambassadors. And they took old sacks and their donkeys and wineskins on. Now remember, there is two parts to this story. There were the kings on the other side who heard about what Joshua had done. And they were planning to do something. But at the same time, the Gibeonites also heard. Now they were a great nation. They also heard what Joshua had done. So in order for him not to fight with them, to go to war with them, they came in old rag clothes, sacks, shoes, you know, in a way that people who don't have, people who are poor. Rich in spirit though. But these people came to them under a false notion and saying that, you know, we came from a far land and we need protection. But they owned those four cities. They lived in those four cities. Now Israelites, not knowing better, believe them, did not check into their story. Now you see what happens when you don't check into somebody's story. You get the wrong story. When you get the wrong story, you deprive yourself. That's very important. It's very important when somebody tells you a story to ensure it comes with value. It comes with proof. A lot of people will tell you stories to get what they can get out of it. And you must be very careful and very wary of that. Let me go on from there. Old and patched sandals on their feet, and old garments on themselves, and all the bread of the provision was dry and moldy. What an act that is! To get dry and moldy bread, who think about that? Back in the day they thought about it, now they think of bigger things. How to abuse you, how to lie to you, how to get whatever they can get out of you. And you need to understand that, and you need to be wary of people in your lives. Because sometimes there are people in your life that are wearing you down. If they are wearing you down, you need to move away from them. It can be close family. But God will give you that vision. You know what? You need to step away. Otherwise you're going to go down. Are you prepared to go down? You're not prepared to go down because I'm not prepared to go down. Not for anybody. We have come from a far country. Now therefore make a covenant with us. Then the men of Israel and the Hittites, perhaps you dwell among us. So how can we make a covenant with you? But they said to Joshua, we are your servants. See how they worked it. You dwell among us, so how can we make a covenant with you? We are your servants. Now what happens if you are your servants? If they are so you can't release them. Same thing happened in Egypt. Israelites were servants, could not be released. If you make a covenant with somebody, you've got to stand by that covenant. It's honorable, no matter what it is. Even if it's the wrong covenant, if you made it, you made it. And you must understand, because later in the chapter, they figured out what this guy did. But it was too late. Because the covenant was in place. These were servants of the Israelites. They were working with them. And you know, sometimes you get used and you get close to the people, and it's like one and all, when they do everything. And you work with them. We in this day and age, we don't have servants. Not in our country anyway. We don't have servants because we are able and capable of doing our own work. But they were a nation honored by God. Then the men of Israel took some of their provisions, but they did not ask counsel from God. So Joshua made peace with them and made a covenant with them to let them live. And the rulers of the congregation swatted. Joshua made peace with them. And made a covenant with them. Now he has made a covenant with the enemy. He was supposed to have had a war with them. God asked him to go in and conquer that land. As you read on, you will read how they conquered the north, how they conquered the south, how they divided and conquered on each side. You'll understand how they lost to Ai because of overconfidence. How many of us are overconfident how things are going to happen, but it turns out exactly opposite? Because God's not in it. If God is not in it, you're wasting your time. A lot of us, we put ourselves first. We do not put God. Remember one thing. Everything that Joshua spoke about, even at the end, he gave praise and glory to the Lord. He never said, I did this. Remember Christophany I spoke to you about? Man stood in front of him and told him, you are just a soldier. So there Joshua knew he was an authority to somebody else. Somebody else had authority over him, but he had authority over an army. Remember, Joshua was a spiritual man, but he was also an army man. He could fight the fight, unlike Moses. Then you're going to ask a question. Moses had the Israelites for so long. Nothing happened. Remember, it took 40 years. If the Israelites were obedient, it wouldn't have taken them 39 years to get into the promised land. So most of those people did not even enter the promised land. So when God showed the miracle of the Red Sea parting, he had to redo the miracle at the Jordan River. You understand that? To show the new generation, this is what I can do. And remember this, we serve a jealous God. He can do good for us and he can also do bad. Sometimes the devil intervenes, but too many of us give too much credit to the devil. Sometimes we run down the wrong path. Guys, it is serious. Red Sea, Moses. Jordan River, Joshua. It was parted why? It was parted for a reason. So people could see God's power and God's glory. And that is what it's all about. The next generation was obedient. When Joshua told them, I was ordained by God, and I was told to take over, the people honored him. Unlike their forefathers and their fathers who were in the desert for 40 years. They knew they were in the promised land. Of the 12 spies that went, only 2 came back. Caleb and Joshua. The rest did not believe. So the 2 left. Remember Caleb in the end, if you read on that, he got his portion of land which was promised to him. And Joshua was very fair because everything that Moses said, Joshua did. Why? You honor your father. You must honor your father. But the thing is, the mistake was made there. The ruler said to all the congregation, we are sworn to them by the Lord of Israel. Now therefore we may not touch them. You see what happens when you make a mistake? When you make a covenant with the wrong people, but it's under God's covenant, you cannot change it. You were supposed to be in war with them, you were supposed to get them, and you got hold of the land. They were short of land in the end. When you read on, you will see they had to go and look for land. They had to go and make up their land. Because Moses promised a lot of people land, and remember the Levites did not get land. Because God said he would look after them. And then they were all over the place. They were given land all over. But we need to know why we are in this position. We are in this position because somebody disobeyed the Lord. However misunderstood it is, we have wisdom. We have the power to think. A lot of times we got bought off, in the early days. In town sometimes people say, "This is a gold ring here, the 10 times." Thank you. You go, that's a total fake, you want to worth one man. Now we need to understand, we need to have wisdom and know that these people are from the land, but they also feared Joshua and his troops because they understood what was coming. And they knew defeat was certain because Joshua and his troops were walking with the Lord. But you must also be obedient to the Lord. We come back again to Ai, where he lost the war. He was disobedient, he fell on his face. Christ asked him, "What are you falling on your face for?" There is a time to pray and there is a time for action. Now is the time for action. You need to know when it's time to pray and when it's time for action. Some of us, we can't be praying 24/7 for something to happen because it's not going to happen. Going on to 25, verse 26. So he did to them and delivered them out of the hand of the children of Israel, so that they did not kill them. You know, the Israelites were also not a very easy bunch. They would have killed them. But he delivered them, he helped them. And that day Joshua made them woodcutters and water carriers for the congregation and for the altar of the Lord in the place which he would choose even to this day. In summary, the Gibeonites were a tribe from Canaan. They were a tribe from Canaan. They feared the Israelites and knew of them coming. They met the Israelites and told them that they from a faraway land and need protection. The Israelites made a mistake and gave them protection. They made a mistake and gave them protection. The Israelis took their word, and the 4 cities they were living in Israel could not be touched. They had 4 cities. Remember now, the promised land was promised by God to the Israelites, including their 4 cities. But that 4 cities you couldn't touch now. Now you're short of land. You buy land from somebody, they tell you, hey, 500 square meters. The next thing you come to there's 400. Now you need to find the other 100. Now this was on a bigger proportion. The Israelites were taken and hoped to protect the Gibeonites' lives, and they were woodcutters and servants of the Israelis through trickery. Israel was unable to expel these people from the land. How many people are in your lives that you can't expel? How many people do you need to expel to move on for Christ? If you are around people that don't know Christ, you need to get rid of it. Or you need to bring them into the house. If you are failing in that, you need to move away because they're going to bring you down. Again, I heard more or less 2 o'clock people or ladies were killed in what's it? In Baltimore. 2 o'clock. Campfire. You don't know, but ladies were killed in Baltimore. That's how bad things are. Even that before you're a lady, they have respect. Hands off. The mother of the earth. Now they kill. Kill now, ask questions later. That's how bad things are. So again I say, who are you joining? Where are you on a Saturday night? What are you sitting on doing on a Saturday night and Sunday morning you in church? The question needs to be asked. Because you need to sort your life out. And you need to be sorted out with God. Man can only do as much, and I always say this. People always call the pastor to pray for them. That's good. But you have the Holy Spirit in you to pray for yourself. And we need to understand that. Because each man has to pray. You have the power and the ability to know where God is in your life. If God is in your life, you need no man to pray for you. You pray for yourself. We need to be very clear on that, because it's fine, we get together, we pray as a family in this church. Wednesday nights, Fridays we meet with the youth, Sundays we have Thursdays, we have the praise and worship, Sundays we in church. It's all about soaking in the Word of God. It's all about taking it out there. Some of the people that listen now are your friends. You need to ask them, where are they? Some of them are family. You need to sit to them and talk to them. Because if you've got the love for Christ, and if you have the attitude for God, you will be happy. And that's what we need to understand. We need to know where we are in Christ. Because if you don't know that on that day, you will say He doesn't know you. Well, we need to be clear. Joshua 10, a New King James Version. The sun stands still. Now it came to him, it came to pass when Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, heard how Joshua had taken Ai and had utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho and its king. So he had done to Ai and its king, and all the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel, and were among them. They feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city. I already told you that in chapter 9. Gibeon was a great city. If it wasn't for the Lord, Gibeon would have defeated the Israelis. And you will see later what I'm telling you and how it makes sense, because they say Gibeon was a great city. It had 4 cities. How great are they? If they could have feared Joshua, what that tells you? It only tells, and remember, the Israelites were not soldiers. They were servants and slaves. They came out of Egypt. For 40 years around the desert, their children came out. There was no time to build an army, because they were walking all the time towards the promised land. You must understand what a miracle is. You need to know what a miracle is. Why are we going there? We're going there to see the other side of the coin. Remember, Gibeon was sneaking. The Israelites made a mistake in allowing them the land. But God forgave Joshua because they made a covenant. You see as a man, what it is to stand by a covenant. You stand by what you say. You don't give your word today. Tomorrow, you forgot about it. You got to stand by your word. You got to make sure. Now I'm showing you the other side of this coin, because these stories, the Gibeon story is not a well-told story, but it's an important story. People overlook it because the men of God were deceived. I mean, this is a great man of God. Joshua, he went to war. He killed tribes upon tribes, defeated the north, defeated the south. Here somebody comes there and tells him, we need your protection. But they from the land he's supposed to be occupying. He lost out because his own people did not get that land. The kings decided to come against them. And the men of Gibeon, therefore the 5 kings of the Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, king of Hebron, king of Jarmuth, and the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon, gathered together and went up. They had all their armies and camped before Gibeon and made war against it. There's five nations now. They heard what the Gibeons did to Israelites. So they came to war. Now, Israelites, these people deceived us. Let us step aside let them get defeated, we got our land back. Wouldn't that be what a devious person would think? Israelites, commanded by Joshua, commanded by the Lord, had to stand by the word, and the Gibeonites called them and told them, you know, this is the situation, you need to come out. You need to move out and come to war with us. Now I want you to watch, I want you to hear this, I want you to get this picture. Right? The Gibeonites, they falsely got the land. They abused the Israelites when they got the land by lying, cheating, giving wrong information. They were on there to honor their commitment by leaving them in the land. Now on top of that, they have to go and fight for them. Now look at this now. First you get in the land. Now you're going to send your whole country to be in war with them, for them, and fight against the kings. The 5 kings who came against them. To most of us it won't make sense. But if you got the Lord in you, you will understand a commitment. You will understand why God gave them grace, even they made a mistake. They were graceful towards someone else. You can put it 2 ways. The Gibeonites knew they couldn't win that war because the Israelites were with God. So they were looking for themselves. They were selfish, but they were looking for their own life. They didn't want to die. Who wants to die? Nobody. If you're going against a war where you know you're surely going to be dead, you'd rather pull out of it. They were sneaky. But God didn't grace. Because they were incorporated with the Israelites, even though the Israelites lost land. But when they came out in the end, they asked them, how could you do this to us? Well, if we didn't do that, you would have surely conquered us. This was a win situation for the Gibeonites. So Joshua ascended from Gilgal, and all the people of the war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. And the Lord said to Joshua, do not fear them, for I have delivered them into your hand. Not a man of them shall stand before you. You know, Joshua therefore came up upon them suddenly, having marched all night from Gilgal. So the Lord routed them for Israel, killed them with a great slaughter at Gibeon, chased them along the road, and struck them down as far as Edessa. You know, if you read on further, you will know that there were more people killed by the storm that the Lord created with hailstones. There were more people killed by the Lord and the hailstorm than the Israelites. That is God's favor, because God already told them, I have defeated them for you, do not fear them. When the Lord tells you, I have defeated them, do not fear them, you don't go in with fear. You go in with the attitude of being a winner. That is our problem today. We cannot go in as winners. We walk in with 2 minds. When you walk into something with 2 minds, you're surely going to lose. You walk into an interview, and most of us, I know, we worry. But then we prayed in the morning before we go to the interview. We said, wow, Lord, if you pray and ask God to walk with you, God will walk with you. You need to know what the story is. When Joshua realized, he could not defeat them in the day. He could not defeat them in the day. And God told him, you walk in there, this fight is won. What did he ask God? He requested that the sun stand still. Because in the dark you don't know who your enemies are from your friends. You've been killing your own family. So the sun stood still while the war was on. And the war was won by Joshua. Now you need to understand, how is it possible for the sun to stand still. Isn't that only God? You think man can do that? But man can request from God, God, you told me I'm going to win this war. I need you now. You need to come forward. You need to show the people who you are. Again another miracle. If you're a man of God, God will do miracles for you. If you're a woman of God, God will do miracles for you. Man of God is not the only one standing here. It is in every one of you. So we need to have our attitudes right and understand. We are men of God, we are women of God. And remember, everything that comes from here comes from God. We are just a messenger. God gives us His words to give to each and everyone. And remember, we also give it to ourselves. Because sometimes we need to search inside our hearts and souls. We may be disappointed, but we need to understand there's accountability for us. And if we do not account properly, we got problems. The sun stood still, the moon stood still, and he won the war. Sun stood still over Gibeon, and the moon in the valley of Aijalon. So the sun stood still and the moon stopped, till the people had revenge upon the enemies. So the sun stood still in the midst of the heaven, and did not hasten to go down for that whole day. And there has been no day like that before it or after that the Lord needed the voice of man, for the Lord fought for Israel. Then Joshua returned, and Israel with him in the camp of Gilgal. There had never been a day before that or after that where the sun stood still. Now we need to be very, very clear on God and what you ask for God. Nothing is too small for God. This is the God that told the Israelites, you will win the war. At the same time, He stopped the sun from moving because you ask. If you ask God for something, you will get it. You ask Him half-mindedly and think, sometimes I won't get it, you won't get it. The power of your life is in your tongue. You need to understand that if you speak negativity, you're going to get negative results. I keep saying that from here. Because you are God's children and you need to speak positively. And if we do not understand positivity, then we've got a problem. Our lives must be good. No matter what we're going through, trust in God. As long as you got bread to eat, you got a bed to sleep, you got a roof over your head, you see. Sometimes you see people walking in the road with nothing. But 90% of those people brought it upon themselves. So you need to be very, very clear on what you bring upon yourself. Because the way we are right now, yeah, we are well dressed. We all can act in movies right now. Because that's how it is. God has given us everything. God will give you what you want if you ask Him. You cannot ask Him for a trolley from Checkers with a whole lot of stuff in the trolley pushing on the road. Not even food. You need to ask Him for big things. Because you ask Him for big things, you won't get big things.
Amen.
The power of your tongue is very, very important as an individual. Now to actually just come over this situation here of Joshua. The king of Jerusalem, Adonizedek, heard that the Gibeonites and the treaty that they had made with Israel had called on 4 armored kings to unite with him and fight the Gibeonites. The Gibeons requested the assistance of the Israelites, and the battle began. God assured the Israelites victory, sending hailstones of such a size that more people died in the storm than by the sword. But Joshua knew he could not defeat the enemy when it got dark. And all fighting must stop, as you do not know friend from foe. It is at this point that Joshua made an unprecedented prayer request that the sun should stop in order for the battle to continue. Understand this? When they lost at Ai and Joshua went face down on the ground, the Lord asked him, what are you praying for? What are you crying for? What are you praying? Go and do something. This is the time for action. But Joshua was doing something for himself, his country. He was fighting. He was fighting the enemy. When he was doing that, he asked God to stop the sun. What that tells you? If you do something for yourself, God will surely walk with you and complete your journey. He was at war. Hailstones were flying all over the place, killing the enemy. Why? Because he took that step of faith and he went down to war. If he never took that step of faith, where would we be today? You need to ask the question, because everything about you comes down from the Bible. Generation to generation to generation. I always speak to you about generation curses. Watch out. We need to start breaking these things from our great-grandfathers and grandfathers and all that, because we are children of the Most High. We need to understand that, and we need to believe that. I've given you 2 examples. In a nutshell, I told you, the Israelites did not do their homework, did not do the background check. Today, you want to buy one small thing, they're phoning everybody to check your credit bill. This was a big thing. 4 countries. These people had 4 places. But they came to Israelites and they deceived you. Israelites should have used wisdom. But they made a mistake. They had to honor the covenant that they made a mistake. Had they gone back and killed those people, what would have been their situation? There would have been no honor. They would have said, you know what? We can't trust the Israelites because they made a commitment with them. And they went and killed them. So you have to look at that. But the 5 kings from across knew the power of the Israelites. And they heard about the Jericho and Ai, and then when they defeated Ai. Now they took the north and now they took the south. And they heard about the Gibeonites, who were themselves a great nation at war. So, let's go and defeat these people. Because they didn't want to go against what God wanted for the Israelites. They went to war, the Israelites won the war. So sometimes, we make mistakes. God overlooks those mistakes. You need to understand that. We serve a loving God. But we need to learn from our mistakes. Made a mistake. They learn from their mistake. You must learn from your mistake. After they made the mistake, they learned from their mistake. They won the war. You remember Israelites? If you look at it in another way, they got their own slaves, own servants. They were slaves and servants to the Egyptians. Look at this now. They were slaves and servants to the Egyptians. They came to the promised land. Slaves and servants came to them. And Joshua did not treat them badly. He gave them positions, he gave them work. And he honored them and he kept them there. That's how we must be. We must treat people properly, we must honor them. We must give them work if we can. And we must treat them with humility. We need to understand what our life is about. And we need to understand where we're going, because if we do not understand where we're going, then we got problems. The astonishing display of faith was rewarded, and the full day of the sun stopped in the sky. Victory was complete. Remember, from that time onward, when you go down to the last few chapters, you'll read about the allocation of the land, and you'll read about how they ran out of land and how they had to go and excavate in the desert and the forest in order to get more land, and how they had to go and look for more land. So, and that's a couple of chapters, so it's a big thing there. So Joshua plays a very important part in the Bible. I mean, we normally hear about the famous things, about Jericho, Ai, but these are things we don't hear about. And these are the things that happen now. I will be bringing you stuff that is not common. But this is my option. What was my message? My message was, even if you make a mistake, God still loves you and He will still honor you, and He will still walk with you if you ask Him to. Amen.